Hi, everybody.
Hi. What's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into the Tim and April Show. I am Tim Whitaker.
And I'm April Ajoy.
Good to be with all of you. We have a very, very, very full show today. Thanks to everyone on Substack. Hello on YouTube. Make sure to like this video, share it with someone, maybe on your social media feed. Subscribe to the channel. Good to be here. April and I are currently both kind of snowed in, so that's fun because we're like, 800 miles apart, but it is currently 12 degrees outside, so that's my story.
Oh, is it 12 for you?
Yeah.
Oh, mine's warmed up. It's 20 now. It was 10. So.
It's like a sauna out there.
But we have like ice blocks like this thick on our road still outside. So I'm actually snowed in. Like, I'm not going anywhere.
That is actually a great distinction between the North and the South. So we got about 10 inches of snow over the weekend in New Jersey, and we got probably about at least maybe a tenth or a quarter of an inch of ice. And that happened on Sunday. Obviously, schools were closed on Monday, and by Tuesday, it was pretty much back to normal. We're all shoveled out. Slight delayed opening, but we've been back pretty much since Wednesday as business as usual in the Northeast.
Yeah, my kids have been home all week, and they're going to be home again tomorrow. So
it's been a lot of fun, super peaceful.
Yep, very productive work week for me.
I bet. Yeah, you got so much work done. That is so funny. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Well, friends, thanks for coming in. Like we said, we are going to be covering today the world of toxic empathy. That's what we're covering today. There's a lot going on, and we're going to hop into it. Before we do that, a quick heads up. The Tim and April Show is produced by the New Evangelicals, a nonprofit organization that I founded, now run by Melinda Hale. If you're looking for community and belonging as people trying to find a better path forward in faith, check out the newevangelicals.com. It's a great organization doing amazing work, and they are the ones that produce this show. So, April, where do you want to start with this? I mean, there's a lot to kind of get through, and I mean, I don't think I've ever pulled so many like graphics up for a show because there's just so much to respond to.
It is very jam-packed. And I do want to say we will read all super chats.
Yes.
We'll find a time to do that. I've seen a couple already come in, so thank you so much.
There's also a high chance that you will get demonetized on this video because of what we're sharing content-wise. So super chats really help make up the ad revenue that we would normally get to make this show possible. So thank you for all your super chats.
Yes. So let's just start off with what happened since our last show. So we are talking about ICE again because we had our show last Thursday, and that was obviously before the newest killing by ICE agents of an American citizen. So we're going to talk about that, but we're not going to focus on that story, like the actual killing, because I think by this point, you've all seen all the angles. You've seen what's happened. We want to talk about the MAGA Christian influencer response to all of this, because it's very telling and interesting what's happening.
Well, why don't we look, we're not going to play a lot of the video footage of what happened to Alex, but there are two clips we want to play just to set the stage for what actually happened. Because again, there is so much disinformation out there because of the intentional smear campaign of right-wing media. In particular, it seems like some of these more female influencers like Ali Stuckey, Megan Basham have maybe they're all in a big group chat, I don't know, but they seem to have kind of come out in full force to convince their mostly female audiences that, hey, don't believe what you saw. That's toxic empathy. Instead, ICE is doing a great job. So there are two clips we want to show just to kind of set the tone for today.
Yeah, this is a refresher.
A refresher. And there's nothing graphic in these clips that we're going to share. We're not going to share anything over the top. When Alex was peacefully filming ICE agents, he was attacked by one of them with bear mace, or with mace, and he fell on one of the women that he was trying to protect. I have that footage, it's only 7 seconds, but here's how things started. Okay, you can see his hands are up, and ICE is kind of all over him.
And you missed right before this, but the woman that was on the ground, an ICE agent walked over and just shoved her.
Yeah, shoved her.
And she fell down. Yeah.
So this is a slow motion video, Again, nothing graphic will be shown here, but it is important to know what actually happened. And this is, by the way, this is how we fight propaganda, with actual video footage. And for those listening on podcasts who might not be seeing this, this is a slowed down video of ICE agents disarming Alex from his legally owned concealed handgun that was in his back, and then another agent pulls out his gun after Alex is disarmed, and then right after the video cuts off, that's when the shooting actually happens. But I want people to see this, so we have this in the background as we navigate the response by right-wing Christian influencers. I'm going to lower this audio so we're not flagged for it.
We're going to get flagged for that song.
Okay, so the gun is out, and then that's when you see the other officer go and then shortly after that fire his weapon. So that is what happened. That's evidence. That's video footage. That's not doctored. That is the data of what we have.
He's on his hands and knees at that point. His back is to the officers. I mean, he's practically detained at that point.
There's about, I think, between 5 and 6 officers on top of him. He's clearly not a threat. The gun that he owns never comes out by his own hands. There is no serious threat.
He never touches his own gun.
No, it never happens. It never happens. Okay, that's what happened.
So that's what happened. It's very clear. He never went and attacked these officers. He went, had his hands up, was trying to protect a woman, then got tackled. And like, there's multiple angles, and this is a very clear case of what actually happened. So then, and I think a lot of the outrage, there was outrage over the video, but then the outrage escalated because Christian Nationalism came out after we all saw the video with our own eyes and said this.
I think this is queued up to the right spot.
Domestic assault with intentional.
Back up a little bit here.
But before I take any questions and give more details on the storm and its impact, I do want to address the tragic situation that we saw in Minneapolis today that unfolded on the streets. It occurred with DHS law enforcement as they carried out their lawful duties to keep Americans safe in the threat of criminal illegal aliens in this country. At 9:05 a.m. Central Time, the Department of Homeland Security law enforcement officials and officers were conducting targeted operations in Minneapolis against an illegal alien whose criminal history included domestic assault with intentionally inflicting bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
That is...
It's just a blatant lie.
I mean, if she was Pinocchio, her nose would be like out the freaking door. And again, we have all the footage in HD. There is a 4K video taken by the woman in a pink jacket up close of what happened, and none of that is true. Zilch, none of it.
Right. They
Wow.
I really don't understand the logic for them to just come out and not just lie, like not do a half truth, but just like a lie so blatant. It's almost like they got used to their followers believing whatever BS they put out there, and they thought,
Right.
They'll just eat this up too.
Yeah, yes, exactly.
But a lot of them didn't.
Well, right, because you can only self-delude yourself so much in front of the actual evidence of real video footage of what happened, right? There's only so much that you can convince yourself of before reality has to break through, especially given, like you said, April, how blatant Christian lies. Like, it's not even close. It's not even like, well, you can interpret her words differently. No, she's just lying about this. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those few moments for me where a lot of people that I talk to or that I follow who are more right-wing leaning seemed pretty upset by what happened to Alex, which is like, okay, thank you. Like finally some kind of common ground here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, there were a lot of people that I saw online that usually are very MAGA, very pro-Trump, that were even calling this out as this was unnecessary force. Clearly.
Didn't Agent Ross's lawyer or attorney like step down from running for a Republican? He was running for some kind of role in the Republican Party in Minnesota, and he stepped down over this.
There was someone running for governor there that he withdrew his run because he couldn't support what the GOP was doing when it comes to ICE and just like the blatant lying. It is very fascinating to watch. But I will say, if there's a silver lining here at all, it's that a lot of people that have had blinders on for many other things are starting to see things for what they are. And I don't know about you, but when I know that someone is blatantly lying to me, I take that as them thinking that I'm stupid, and that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we're seeing happen. And obviously your diehard MAGA are not there. And we're going to show you in a second what the MAGA influencers are trying to do. But a lot of your everyday average American citizen are starting to wake up to this. And that is a very good sign. Like it just takes, and for someone who comes from a lot of indoctrination, especially on the Republican side of things, all it really takes is one little crack, and then everything else can start to unravel. So overall, I think we're seeing a shift, but
it's a shame it's come to this point. I think that's what's so frustrating is like people, including you and me, April, right, tried to warn our friends or our fellow church members of like, guys, how can you not see how dangerous Trump is? And now we have, I think the current total is 9 U.S. citizens that have been killed by ICE so far, not including people in detention centers. And it's like, how many more deaths do you need to see on camera before you finally understand that A, you're being lied to by right-wing media, and B, this is not about law and order. This is about authoritarianism. That's what I think for me is so frustrating.
Well, not to mention the whole Second Amendment aspect of this, because Caroline Leavitt said something to it in one of her press conferences. They were alluding to, well, if you come to a protest and you're carrying a weapon, you're more likely to get shot. Even the NRA came out on Twitter and was like, actually, people have a right to bear arms, and that's like a dangerous precedent to set. So
no, they did, but they also blamed the escalating violence on the Democrats essentially, and kind of like downplay what happened to Alex initially. Then they, I think, with pushback, finally came out and said something. Which again, I'll take the win, but it is kind of, again, it's wild to watch them go from the Second Amendment is our God-given right to, well, if he didn't have a gun in his back pocket that he was carrying legally, he would have never been shot by these ICE agents. Do you hear yourself? Like, what?
Right. These are the same people that want to arm teachers too. Like, Anyway, so, but that's beside the point. So I started seeing a very interesting trend, and it all happened at once. I don't know if they are in a group chat and they all send each other like, this is our angle, but a bunch of people, including Allie Beth Stuckey, who she's not a stranger to the show.
She's like the ringleader of all this in my mind. She's the one who kind of gets them all in line, you know?
Yeah, but there's a lot of people, and we'll show you that. So instead of being upset that federal agents are killing American citizens in the street who are minding their business or trying to protect a woman, in Alex's case, they're getting mad at other Christians, specifically people that they thought were on their side, right?
Yes.
People like conservative women. They're getting mad at them for going on Instagram and saying ICE shouldn't kill American citizens.
Yes.
And for condemning what ICE has been doing. That is where their outrage is being focused right now. They're desperately trying to make their echo chamber smaller by calling out all of these quote unquote, influencers, they would say, that are calling out ICE and trying to convince their people, you can't trust them. You can't trust your feelings.
Right. Well, why don't we play 2 clips quickly? I have one of Megyn Kelly I think is worth listening to, and then one of Riley Gaines that kind of gets into the defense that these women are trying to put out, and then we'll get into some of the tweets. Before we do that, we should probably read some of these super chats, or we're going to be here all day at the end reading them. So let's knock out a few of those. Again, friends, thank you so much for the super chats. All of the super chat money goes right to the show to make it possible. Really appreciate it. Also, I have a cold, so my apologies if I sound nasally. Justine Bailey says, finally catching alive again. Love you guys. Keep being amazing. Thank you so much for the super chat. Kyle Young says, just read Japan is making it illegal to tell children they're going to hell. Heck yeah. Also glad to be here. I'm very excited. Interesting. We'll have to look into that, but that's very interesting. We'll see how right-wing media picks that up if it's true. Julia Markham, Trump is causing a problem between my mom and I. Can't get through to her. Suggestions. Can we make a note of that, Cassidy, and come back to that at the end of the show, because that's a longer conversation, but I do have thoughts on that.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you for the super chat. Four Wall Sat C, your show is helping my husband and I survive these crazy times in our ruby red corner of Colorado. Thank you. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Couple more here. Wow, guys, you've been so generous today. Thank you. Kyle Young, again, I live in Santa Barbara, and they just had a big problem in our town. They pepper sprayed a lady. We went to the police who defended them, and they turned their lights off. Wow, unbelievable. Whew. Okay. Flockmeister, a seal in French is folk. Am I saying that right? Fouquet?
I don't know. Maybe, like folk ice?
Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Caleb Williams, thank you both for being the voice of truth in the current age of propaganda. Much love and support from a lefty in Texas. A couple more here, and we'll get to the clips of Megyn Kelly and Riley Gaines. Who knew gun rights are liberal now? LOL. Abolish ICE and close the campus. That's from Sentient Soy. Thank you so much. It's good seeing the same people every week. It makes me feel like we have an audience. It's nice. Stevie the Clown. It took a legally concealed carry white man for Christian nationalists to give a crap. Hypocrites. Yep. And then the last one for now. Dulk Dogan, weird to see myself agreeing with my pre-deconstruction libertarian selfies again on the issue. Also didn't think Trump's Sleepy Joe comments would also be projection. Yeah, very true. Okay. Whew. Thank you for all the super chats, friends. It means the world. So one of the things I wanted to pull briefly is just Megyn Kelly talking about this. And don't forget, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, April, you and I came out and shared a lot of empathy for his wife and for his family. Yeah. We were very quick to condemn it. And by the way, to my recollection, every major Democratic politician, including people like Zoran Mamdani, who wasn't even elected mayor yet, all came out sending condolences and denouncing the violence. Okay? Right. Let's see how Megyn Kelly responded to the literal assassination of Alex Pretti that was captured on camera. This is not edited, friends. This is what she said.
I know I'm supposed to feel sorry for Alex Pretti, but I don't. Do you know why I wasn't shot by Border Patrol this weekend? Because I kept my ass inside and out of their operations. It's very simple. If I felt strongly enough about something the government was doing that I would go out and protest, I would do it peacefully on the sidewalk without interfering, via a whistle, via shouting, via my body, via any other way. I would make my objections known by standing there without interfering, because interfering is where you go south.
You want to take this one, April? Wow.
I don't understand. This is something that has actually been really grieving to me lately, is the level of meanness, like this mean girl energy that a lot of these Christian women put out. Like, they're just bullies. Like, I don't understand how you can claim to follow Jesus and be a Christian and say you don't feel bad that a man was murdered in the back for defending a woman who had just been shoved to the ground.
Well,
a whistle, how
all constitutionally protected. Like, you're allowed to blow whistles in public. You're allowed to film agents in public. That's all legal. You're allowed to protest. Protesting is it's an American staple of how change happens over and over again. But what they're doing, right? Because don't forget, these are the same people that are going to tell you that January 6th was mostly peaceful and that they were real patriots who stormed the Capitol building, breaking windows in the Capitol, right? That was fine. That protest was no problem. But a man filming ICE agents legally, his hands are up, he gets maced out of nowhere, his gun is taken from him, and then he's executed in the street with 10 bullets in the back. And also not offered aid for many minutes later, by the way. And for Megyn Kelly to say this, it just reinforces the narrative, right, for these people that, well, if you're not a problem, you won't be in trouble. That is authoritarianism. I'm going to be honest here, April. That's what the slaveholders would have said. Hey, don't get in the way. It's legal. It's legal. This is legal. Don't get in the way of what we're doing. Segregation is legal. It's a legal thing. How dare MLK protest this stuff? How dare he tell sanitation workers to stop what they're doing and become an agitator?
Right.
That's what they should be saying.
They also have a misconception of how protests have historically worked that brought about change.
Yeah.
It wasn't like in the civil rights movement, it's not like they just stood on the side and never disrupted anything. Like you can still be disruptive and still be peaceful.
100%.
Like blowing a whistle doesn't mean you're being violent
at all.
That is still a form of peaceful protest. But the idea that you can't disrupt anything and everything, like that is successful protest, is disrupting. There's this disconnect. But can I also just say, this whole idea, these people are out here saying, oh, if you just complied, there'd be no problem. You just got to comply. Romans 13. Notice how they only quote Romans 13 when a Republican is president. And remember when Joe Biden was president and we were wearing masks, which of course started under Trump, but then when the vaccine came around, all of these same people were screaming at the top of their lungs, do not comply. Do not comply. The government is evil. Do not girl, they're so hypocritical on every front. Like they were screaming about their rights being taken away and how the government can't tell them what to do over a piece of fabric on their face.
We also need to say the obvious. Even if someone was violently protesting, that is not a license to execute them in the street. We have something called due process. We have a process that will actually convict someone, right? You're innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So even if we gave into this narrative that Alex was an agitator or that Alex was whatever right-wing media says that he was, right? That's still not justification to kill him. That's not justification to murder him. What are we talking about here? No matter what, the rhetoric falls apart once you examine the logic of it, unless you believe that MAGA is essentially saving America and that we have to break a few eggs in the process in order to make the country safe again. If you believe that narrative, then the government federally, what they're doing is great. But if you have two brain cells to rub together and you think about this, what they're actually saying is that tyranny for thee, but not for me, right? Mm-hmm. That's what this is. Clearly, it's so blatant. And it's only going to get worse today, friends. I'm sorry. Like, we have a doozy of a show. I'll play Riley Gaines' clip real quick, too, just to hear. Again, this is the narrative that all these people start pushing around what happened to Alex.
What happened to Alex Pretti and Renee Good would never happen to me because I would not interfere with a federal operation, certainly not with a loaded firearm at that. Of course, I've built my platform on speaking the truth and highlighting reality. And of course, this is no different. I care about the facts. So here they are.
Could you imagine?
Can I just say that she actually built her platform on tying 5th place with the trans person, and she has never let that go. She is a poor loser. She tied for 5th place and has made it her entire personality.
What people need to realize is that in this space, notice the language they use. I care about facts. I care about truth. And then they're going to justify or they're going to ignore the facts and data of what actually happened. They're going to endorse regime talking points. Right? These people trade the truth for a lie. Also, April, I did want to ask you while we're here, can you think of anyone else who brought a gun to like a protest at some point, like in history. And I think he ended up killing some people. Yeah, right? Yeah. In fact, here's a picture of this dude, Kyle Rittenhouse, who we all saw the picture of him holding, I'm not sure what gun it was, maybe an AR-15, as he went to a protest and ended up killing some people. He wrote this on Threads. This is real. Thinking of taking this to Minneapolis. Thoughts? Question mark. And it's a picture of a minigun, essentially. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Christy Nome says that Alex kind of deserved it because he was packing a gun that was legally his. Kyle Rittenhouse brings a gun. He's holding it to another protest that he's not even a part of. Kills, I think it's 2 people or 3 people in the process.
2 people.
Yeah.
2 people.
And, hey, it's a Second Amendment right. Come on.
He was acquitted of those charges.
Yes, he was acquitted.
Too.
That's why he's
and
out
he was
there
a
doing
hero.
this.
He was branded a hero.
Oh, yeah. He was at America Fest last year. He was paraded around. He came out with sparklers behind him. Gosh, it's so clear the more we do this, how this is not about, there's no principle here. It's always about power and control. Always.
Yeah. And remind you, Alex never touched his gun.
Ever.
Never touched it in the whole interaction with ICE. Never touched it. And Kyle was waving whatever that he had. What was it? It was like an assault.
I think it was an AR-15. I'm not sure though. I'll look it up.
Yeah, killed 2 people. And he was responsible, but Alex wasn't. I don't. Oh, yeah. It's so stupid. Where do you want to go from here? So.
It was an AR-15 style rifle. Well, I think what we need to highlight here is how the women influencers, largely, there are some men too we're going to cover, but how they're talking to their audience because they know that they're not in the majority here. Because, again, people have used their eyeballs and have seen between Renee Nicole Good's killing and now Alex Pretty's, people are like, wait, maybe something's wrong. And that means the regime has to send out their influencers to bring them back into the fold. Right?
Yep.
All right. So we got we got a lot.
Y'all got to know. Y'all got to know what your MAGA family is seeing right now.
Yeah. Where should we start? I mean, do you want to start with Allie? Go through a few of those?
Well, I feel like she's like, yeah, sure. Why not? We can start with her.
Okay. So Allie was getting some pushback. And April, maybe you can read this. Like there's 3 tweets that she kind of put out.
Oh, I need to point out too, though. She was initially, so this is not the first thing she said about the Alex Pretty stuff. She initially came out and was like saying he just, I don't remember exactly what she was saying, but she was very like, I support ICE and we shouldn't be falling for our, emotions and blah, 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 blah. So she says this, and this is her kind of making a concession because of the amount of pushback she was getting from her own followers.
Yeah.
Her own conservative followers. Okay? So she says, the things I and many simultaneously believe to be true. I wish Renee Good and Alex Pretty were still alive. They were people made in God's image whose lives had value and their deaths are tragic. I still am unclear about the true story surrounding Pretty's killing. I am not sure DHS messaging on Pretty's death has been completely accurate or helpful.
Let's pause because there's 2 more to read.
Yeah.
I want you all to know, because April and I follow Allie probably too much. This is a person who will insist that she is standing on truth, objective truth, that facts matter, that data matters. This came out after every single conceivable angle of his murder was captured on video. It's undeniable what happened. But her concession is that she moves from ICE did a great job to, well, I'm unclear now. Now I'm going to appeal to mystery. I'm going to appeal to complexity.
Sure.
I'm not sure. Come on.
I'm not sure if DHS should have come out and blatantly lied about what happened.
Right.
Not
I
sure
also
if
care about truth.
That was helpful.
I care about truth. Okay, part 2.
But I do want to point out, though, for her to concede anything shows how big of a pushback she was getting and how many people are seeing this for what it is. So I actually
100%.
take this slight concession as a really good sign.
It's amazing that we have to, but you're right. I agree with you on that completely. Okay, part 2 of her tweet. Go ahead.
Okay. The chaos that led to their deaths is in large part due to local law enforcement refusing to keep the public from impeding ICE and local politicians stoking the flames by calling ICE Gestapo. ICE and Border Patrol agents, by and large, do a good, compassionate job that is very difficult. Sorry, I laughed at compassion.
You have
like
to.
any group, teachers, pastors, social workers, etc., there will be those who are corrupt or bad at their jobs. And it's okay to acknowledge that if a parent.
Pause. Oh my God. Jesus.
Is the compassion in the room with us,
Well,
Allie?
imagine comparing ICE agents who are terrorizing children, who are tackling citizens, to pastors, to teachers, to social workers. Imagine thinking that is some like kind of equivalent here, as if ICE agents wake up and go, I just want to make sure our community is safe. No, we know that's not the case. We know that is not true because we have the video footage of how they are behaving.
Didn't she have
Wow.
a tweet too that was like, we really need to put videos out of ICE agents showing compassion to like combat the narrative?
Yes, she said that. And notice how she contradicts herself. She says there will be those who are corrupt or bad at their jobs. It's okay to acknowledge that if apparent. Well, Allie, we have video of 6 ICE agents disarming a man and killing him, and you're unsure what happened. I can't think of a clearer example of people being bad at their jobs, and you still can't even acknowledge it. Okay. Wow. I mean, this person lives in Delulu land. She lives in a land of make-believe that does not exist in reality. Okay, last part. There's 2 more parts. Woo! Okay, go ahead.
Okay. ICE's job is necessary and good. Removing illegal aliens, including those who have committed heinous crimes against American children, should be able to be done without conflict. This is normal business that has been conducted in similar ways under both R and D administrations. The chaos is not caused by Trump. It is caused by those who hate Trump. America, like every country, has the right and responsibility to defend its borders, protect citizenship, and enforce immigration law. This is necessary for national sovereignty. This is not kidnapping, and it's not just violent criminals who need to be deported.
Wait. Okay.
Didn't she just contradict herself there?
Yes. Well, welcome to the world of Allie and this whole MAGA world, right? Notice. Okay. A couple points I want to make here. Again, America has the right to defend its borders like any other country. Well, unless you're Venezuela or Iran or Iraq or any other
or
Greenland. Yeah, then why not just invade and kidnap some people? I mean, right? What happened to their national sovereignty? I guess that doesn't exist.
But also, no one here is being like, get rid of all borders.
No.
Like,
This is the whataboutism that they do. April. Allie will say, look, the Dems want open borders. That's not true. I'm not aware of any person who thinks that if someone came here, especially if they're undocumented, and they commit a heinous crime, that they should not be brought to justice and deported, right? Fine. We're not talking about that. But we have, again, this is why I get so frustrated with these people, because they claim to care about data. We have the data. 85% of people so far taken by ICE have no criminal conviction or violent history of any kind. In fact, Liam, the 5-year-old, and his father, which we'll get to later on, they had a lawful asylum order, and he was still kidnapped and deported over to Texas. So that's the thing, is like this, no one's upset because bad guys are being taken off the streets. People are upset because Trump has politicized the federal agency of ICE to specifically go after blue cities and to target people sometimes without warrants. Sometimes they're citizens, no due process, smashing windows in, and they're masked. That's also a new thing that we have not seen before, at least in our lifetime. She's just lying here. She is lying. The chaos is caused by Trump. Trump is the agent of chaos. He's incited insurrection in 2020 or 2021, and he continues to do this. Continues.
Right.
God.
And it's the way they're doing it too. The way they're zip tying children in the middle of the night and taking them outside, out of their beds.
Yes. Remember, it's Chicago.
Cruel.
You're right.
Yeah.
It's cruel. Last point, and then we'll wrap up with her response.
All right. Lots of overlap between those decrying ICE and those who never said a word about immigration enforcement under Biden and Obama, have never expressed concern about the lives lost because of illegal immigration, support abortion, or accuse Charlie Kirk of racism in the days following his murder.
Wow.
I am 100% uninterested in what these people have to say about morality or justice.
Wow. Well, okay. I'm not. If you think that someone's saying, when I see a black pilot, I think, boy, I hope he's qualified. If you don't think that that's a racist statement, I'm not sure what to tell you, Allie. I'm just not. I'm not sure. When you call people prowling blacks that are targeting white people, I don't know how you don't think that is racist.
And I honestly don't think a lot of people would have been talking about all of Charlie Kirk's terrible things that he said as much if people like Allie and all of that MAGA world were not turning him into a Christian martyr 100%. And telling a bunch of young people that he was basically speaking for God, and all these young people were going back and watching all this old stuff for Charlie, and we were warning like, no. Yeah. Charlie Kirk did not speak for God. He's not a Christian martyr. He was a political talking head.
100%. Maybe this is a good point to bring up Allie's other tweet where she tried to bring up Obama and compare. And I just think it's worth debunking briefly, then we can move on. But you're going to see, and look, friends, we can't, and we shouldn't respond to every single thing every MAGA person says. We're trying to capture some of the big points that you're going to see on the internet, so you know either where they're coming from or how to respond to them. So the one thing that Allie posted recently that I just think is so interesting is this one. So Allie posted this tweet. I can read it if you want, or you can read it. It's up to you.
I don't mind.
Okay. You're so good at reading, so that'd be great.
I need to get like an Allie Beth Stuckey impersonation. She's kind of mothers and children rounded up in their homes and sent back to their violence-ridden countries. Cage-like structures built to house migrant families. 56 migrant deaths in ICE custody. 75% of immigrants detained without a judicial warrant. 87% of detainees with legitimate asylum claims. Record-setting numbers, ICE director brags. Another ICE agent, Tom Hammond, is awarded by the president for his overseeing of deportations.
Okay. I took time to fact-check these claims. And I have time to pull up every single resource, but you can fact check me if you want. Maybe we'll try and put some of these links in the show notes. I want to just kind of go through these one by one so you all understand what's happening here. Her first claim is that mothers and children were rounded up in their homes and sent back to their violence-ridden countries under Obama. The reality is that, yes, it is true, Obama deported a lot of immigrants. In fact, liberals and leftists called him the deporter-in-chief. But the idea of widespread home raids that were targeting families were not a hallmark of the Obama administration's policy at all. And separating families was not a hallmark of the Obama administration. That happened under Trump. You can see the articles from NPR in 2017 where they say this is a new policy that we have not yet seen before. So right away, she is not telling the truth. Then she says 56 migrant deaths in ICE custody. That is true. Over 8 years. We're at 35 in Trump's first year. Okay? And I want to be clear. Yeah. Numbers do not minimize anyone's death. Every single one of those migrants that were killed in ICE custody under the Obama administration are human beings, and it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's bad. I would never support it. But to try and make it seem like Obama was just as bad, as we're at now 35 deaths, as my understanding so far, in the first year and a couple months, is a ridiculously false equivalence. 75% of immigrants detained without a judicial warrant. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of how this works. Immigration detention is usually charged under civil. Okay, it's like getting a traffic ticket. It's a civil offense. You don't need a warrant for that. We're talking about ICE entering in houses without warrants. We're talking about the leaked memo of ICE saying that they don't need judicial warrants. They just need what's called an administrative warrant, which essentially is signed by an ICE official. That was not a hallmark of the Obama administration. So again, it's different. And then the last question, I'll point, 87% of detainees with legitimate asylum claims. I couldn't find any source on this. I couldn't find one source validating that claim, that 80% of detainees under the Obama administration had legitimate asylum claims. What I do know is that the Obama administration said we want to target more criminals and not target just average people who are doing nothing wrong, but I couldn't find one source on the 87% number.
Yeah. I also say, according to Axios, the immigrant detention deaths under Trump this last year has reached a 20-year high.
Yeah. We covered this, 2 weeks ago? I think I'll try to find the graph. while
She
you're talking.
honestly is kind of proving a progressive point that I don't think she realizes she's proving, is that Barack Obama deported a lot of undocumented immigrants without causing unrest, civil unrest, without killing American citizens,
Right.
without detaining and separating children from their families,
Right.
without zip tying children.
Yep.
Like, look, there's actually a due processed way that you can do this. I mean, and here's the thing. There's still, ICE was only started in 2003. They haven't been a federal agency since before that.
Yep.
So it's just so frustrating the way, and honestly, like the way they think that people play, and to be fair, there are a lot of people on the left that do play partisan teams and have political identities for sure. But I see it way more on the right, where they have this blind allegiance, blind loyalty. They defend no matter what, because they have to protect their side. It's just same thing like in churches, where a pastor has a scandal, you defend because protecting the ministry is the most important thing.
That's right.
That easily crosses over into your political identity with republicanism.
Yeah.
And so, but they are talking. They bring up Obama in a way to make it seem like progressives are the same way, which we're not. A lot of us called out Joe Biden for a lot of things that we did not like that he.
Genocide in Palestine. We called it out.
Right. And to be fair, I did not like Obama when he was president because I was Republican. So it literally, that doesn't even.
Doesn't apply to me.
It doesn't apply to me either.
Can I make one more quick?
Obama for everything else.
One more quick point about this. It is interesting watching Allie all of a sudden bring up Obama as like a success when she was someone who, sorry, I have so many clips here. She's tweeted this in 2019. Amazing to see Barack Obama become a voice of reason now after sowing division for 8 years. We can thank him for the radicalism of the current left. This is the thing she tells on herself, because either she's saying that Obama did a good job at the border and deporting all of these immigrants like she wants, or they were lying about this notion that Obama was a radical Marxist who wanted the borders open. You can't have it both ways. You can't cite Obama when it's convenient and then also say that he was the most divisive president, he was such a radical, but also he deported more immigrants than Trump. Doesn't that prove your point then, that Obama was doing a good job in your own mind? You cannot keep up with the mental gymnastics that you have to do to make sense of all this rhetoric. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I concur.
Thank you. Thank you for validating my feelings. Friends, thanks so much for tuning in. It really means the world. We are live right now on YouTube and on Substack. If you could do us a favor and give this video a like if you're watching it on YouTube, it helps get it in. Wow, I'm a mess today. It helps get it into the YouTube algorithm. And please subscribe to the channel. We release a pre-recorded video every Tuesday and go live every Thursday. If you're on Substack, I can see all the hearts. I feel so loved. Thank you. It means a lot to have you all here on Substack watching along. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on, shall we?
Okay. Where are we going, April?
We have more Allie coming. Don't worry. But let's take a break from Allie for a second and look at some other MAGA women.
Cool.
Or men. I don't know. Who do you want to bring up? There's so.
How about Megan Basham?
Oh, Megan Basham.
Megan Basham. This is a deeper cut for people. They might not know who she is. You want to kind of explain for the
let me
Substack
explain
audience?
who Megan is. She is a writer, a self-proclaimed journalist for the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's organization.
So you can imagine top-notch objectivity and data researching.
Right.
Claims.
Look at here. This is from her Instagram. Her handle is journalist Megan Basham. Just, I don't know. I feel like if you have to say you are, you know, maybe you're not. Like, but regardless.
Okay. Right.
So she's been buying into this whole same thing that Allie Beth Stuckey's put out, which we haven't even got to the Instagram stuff yet. They're all complaining that Instagram is like 2020 all over again, with the black squares and how terrible that was. You have that video of Allie, right? Talking about that?
The black squares?
Where she talks about, Instagram 2020, how she forgave women for the black squares. Did we not pull that one?
I can look into it.
I'll continue.
Is it in our channel? Is it in our channel?
It was on Twitter. I think I might have just texted it to you.
Okay, I'll take a look.
But it's on. Okay. So anyway, so Journalist Megan Basham is buying all of this. They're very mad that other Christian women influencers are posting what they're calling anti-ICE propaganda. So she posts this on her Instagram and says, a friend of mine with an extremely large Instagram platform is now particularly interested in documenting Christian women influencers who are posting anti-ICE propaganda. If you have caught some of these in particular, post in the mentions and I will pass along to him. He wants to turn a spotlight on them. And the comments are literally, I got tagged in it. Of course, she said, I don't count because I'm an open apostate, which kind of made me feel like, oh, you know who I am.
Thanks, Meg. Yeah, exactly.
But they're encouraging everyone in her comment section to go and unfollow and block all of these women. And a lot of the women that they're tagging are Christian women. They are making an effort to make the echo chamber smaller. And I find it so like this is a perfect example of the groupthink that goes on in these conservative fundamentalist spaces. And it's not just about theological positions, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing that happened to me. The first thing that got me ousted was because I couldn't bring myself to vote for Donald Trump in 2016. I voted third party. I didn't even vote for the Democrat. I know.
Yeah. So cool.
But I still got ousted. I was officially being led by Satan over a political choice that I made. I was still conservative. Notice now they are shunning anyone in their community that is just condemning ICE violence based on a video that we all saw with our eyes that shows that Alex Pretti was executed in the back by the government, by federal agents.
Yep. But they're pushing ICE propaganda.
Right. But this is how they keep people from questioning.
Yep.
Because as soon as you question one thing, even something that is so obvious as condemning what ICE did to Alex Pretti or Renee Good or any of the other violence, even something so obvious like that, you are immediately shunned. They're literally making lists. You're being put on a blacklist now. It doesn't matter how much evangelical street cred you have. It doesn't matter if you still believe all the same things. You have now taken a position on the other side for the other team. You're no longer protecting the ministry. You're no longer protecting our team, and therefore you are an enemy. It is very black and white, but it can be effective. There's a lot of people that are spreading this, you know? And it scares people because when you're in this world too, you don't have like your whole community is this. It's really more about conformity than community. Yeah. But people get scared to speak out because they don't want to lose their friends. They don't want to lose their church. They don't want to lose their family, or in many cases, their job. If they work for a ministry or they work for, a conservative outlet in some way. Yeah. So what they're doing is it is groupthink, and it's every confession or every projection and accusation is a confession, right? Because they're accusing other people of spreading propaganda while they are actually the ones spreading propaganda for the empire.
I actually have a small piece of what you just said. It is Ali Stuckey. I'm sorry, but it's a very short clip. It's only 20 seconds. She said this in her Instagram stories before she went on her podcast. This is a great example of what you just mentioned about every accusation is a confession.
I told you there was a very sophisticated network of agitators that are working through well-funded means to make you angry and all of the influencers that you follow angry. What if you're actually being lied to about a lot more than you think? We are going to dig into all of this on today's episode of Related.
The funny part is that Ali Stuckey is an agitator. Ali Stuckey, her podcast is under the Blaze Media Production, which is Glenn Beck's former project that at one point I know did $40 million a year in funding. So she makes a pretty penny doing what she does. So she's actually the person who is being paid to agitate people by a well-funded network. And as we just demonstrated 10 minutes ago, she lies. She is the one not giving her audience the truth. It is so blatant that they are projecting regarding who they actually are. Because I'll tell you what, I have friends in Minneapolis, good friends who I trust and they know what they're doing. And they will tell you, the people, the communities are organizing because they have to, because ICE has invaded their towns. But there's no network of a well-funded dark money group paying millions of people to protest. And if there is, please send some our way. We will gladly take well-funded money to be agitators. But it's wild to watch her say this with a straight face. It's wild.
It's also just so they're calling women stupid.
Totally.
Basically, they're saying
Totally.
you can't believe what you see with your own eyes, and she says it in this nasally, soft-spoken voice, so it makes people think that she's not a menace, but she is. Like,
yeah. Should we play? I think, April, we should read some super chats, and we should play this video because I think it is just so par for the course.
yes. Okay.
Okay.
Agreed.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
And then we got to get to a lot of these tweets.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know. Where did we leave off on this? Man, so many super chats. Thank you, friends. As we said earlier, there's a good chance this video might get demonetized because of the content that we're sharing. So super chats really help us make up for lost ad revenue. So thank you so much. Where did we leave off? Oh, okay, here we go. Can you read some of these? Are you cool reading?
Yes, I can read them. And if we forget yours, please let us know and we'll go back and find it. Okay. From Kyle Young, they're making a patriarchal bet. If they say this, they get to be accepted into the higher echelon of patriarchy. The sad part is they cannot, by patriarchal standards, ever achieve that.
Good point.
There are a lot of pick-me's going on. From Z King 2929, Megan is the same shill to downplay the trauma of the Epstein survivors, calling them barely legal, has a habit of dehumanizing others. Disgusting. This whole situation is so 1984, which is ironic. Yes,
well
agreed.
Said.
Kyle Young again, thank you. As a Kyle, we don't claim him. Love that. Justice Kyle for Kyles. Good. From Joseph Compton, Allie Beth Stuckey's more like JBS, just BS. I like that. That's all she's offering her listeners. She's doing the work of Satan, just like Megyn Kelly, Jill Webben, and Franklin Graham. A lot of people out there. From Courtney Howard, thank you all for what you do. You make me feel seen. Happy to do that. Joseph Compton again, thank you. It's funny to hear MAGA people call those who don't agree with them as apostates. They are the biggest heretics I know today. I mean, for real though. Cosmic 1946. I wouldn't watch Allie Beth Stuckey voluntarily, but for you two, anything. I mean, that's fair. We do apologize for the amount of Allie you're going to see today.
Do you want to tee this video up? I mean, it is.
Okay, so this girl, she's. Okay, so this girl is one of the ones who was blatantly calling for people to ignore government when it came to masks or social distancing back in COVID. I literally went back and found, because she blocked me years ago and I couldn't remember why. And it's because I stitched one of her videos where she called COVID a religion.
Yep.
And that the religion was growing and that it was a cult. The virus, I guess, was a cult. And she said that people were buying into it on the promise of eternal life. I don't know what she was talking about. It was literally one of the more wild things I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sorry. It just really tickles me right now. I don't know why. It's just like, it's so preposterous. She really went on the internet and made that claim, genuinely saying that COVID is a religion. No, it's a virus and it's killing people. Okay.
Yeah, so she was so serious too. So now she's obviously one of the ones that's like, you just got to comply.
Yeah, of course.
So here's her talking about, what did she put in her caption? She was like, I speak with my husband about what we're seeing online. Because of course, all these women, they're quote unquote submissive women.
Right.
That listen to their husbands, despite having platforms themselves where they say what they want.
That's the key. Just listen to all of the doublespeak. Like everything she's saying. Again, this is another influencer. It's a complete accusation. It's
her name's Haley. She has called a Kindled podcast or
Haley
something.
Kindled or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
But they also have become an authority in your life because you've let them. Right.
Who are you speaking about? Influencers. You're saying these influencers think they know more and are posturing themselves as your teacher, your guide.
Correct, because they have set their platform up to be such.
Well, and because women are just instinctively like, you have a lot of followers, you're legit. You must be somebody. You must know something.
And women are predisposed to follow.
Right, correct. And they are. And so now they're not just following, like
Amazon purchasing.
Right. It's not just influencing me to buy, you know, these really great barrel jeans. It's influencing me to now.
They are great, aren't they?
Stop. Don't. He's totally mocking me right now. No, they're influencing me to see scripture through a different lens. Like, they are subtly injecting doubt, uncertainty, and kind of deconstructing what I believe or think scripture is actually telling me by pitting God's word against itself, really, and pitting God's word against him by taking the quote unquote, you know, love your neighbor. This is what Jesus said. Jesus would never want ICE. He would abolish ICE. That's like saying, right? That's the same as saying God would not want there to be a authority structure in place to enforce God's laws. Right. That's exactly what it is, but that's what they're saying because Jesus is God and the government and enforcing law is his idea. And he says that, you know, government does not bear the sword in vain. And if you would not want government to be a terror to you, then do not disobey what it says. Mm-hmm. And these people have not read Romans 13.
They only bring up Romans 13 when a Republican is president because, Haley, I remember where you said COVID was a religion and that we shouldn't listen to the government about masks or the vaccine.
As they follow Ali Stuckey, the great influencer. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, if you're going to take shots like that, you have to know you're going to have egg on your face, right? Like, Haley, you influence people. I'm not going to waste my time going through that video piece by piece because it's so full of, like, again, contradictions and gymnastics. The part that killed me was when her husband's like, well, women are predisposed to follow. I was like, my God, my guy, are you for real? No, he is for real.
These women have so much internalized misogyny. To just the way that they're talking about women is this: we're so stupid. They can't think for themselves. They see a shiny little package from an influencer who sells Amazon usually, and they think, oh, I have to get in line. I have to believe this, even though there's a bunch of angles of ICE clearly just murdering an innocent person. No, they're only caring about it because they're just so stupid. Like. It is so condescending. It pisses me off because they're telling on themselves on how they view women too. Yep. They view women as stupid. They view women as too emotional to actually have an opinion on something when we all witnessed a murder, Haley.
You know how unnatural it is to watch that and think to yourself, I can't have empathy for this person? That is like literally demonic. Like it's vile to think, oh, my emotional state as I watch this injustice happening, I can't trust it because I'm not being rational. No, you actually are being rational because you saw what happened. And the only logical conclusion you should come to is what the heck? Why am I'm outraged by this? This man did not deserve to be executed. But instead, they're going to say, well, no, that's just toxic empathy. You can't go by your feelings. No, you should. Feelings can be really helpful. Obviously, you want to choose values over feelings if there's ever some kind of conflict, but usually your values are in line with your emotions. So the reason why we're upset, April, over what happened to Alex or Nicole or what's happening to little Liam, the 5-year-old, is because it's a value of ours to care about people and to be against unjust treatment or killing of said people. That's why the emotions and values are aligned.
I want to back up my claim earlier of what she said earlier because I found the video. Can I just play what she said back in yours. 2021? This is what Haley had to say about the government then.
COVID is a religion. It's a religion. It's a pagan religion. It's a cult. A cult. It has a cult following, and the cult is growing. People getting vaccinated. And the members don't realize they're in a cult, but they are, and they're worshiping at the altar of their god. Who's the god? The government.
The government.
The government is God, and they promise you eternal life if you just basically pledge your allegiance to them,
like to the flag.
Ultimately, this is about
control.
This is a spiritual.
Spiritual battle.
Battle.
Yeah.
And so it is about your heart. It is about your fears, your hopes, your dreams.
It's just like a redirection.
It is about them taking authority and usurping authority from God, because ultimately this is from the enemy. This is from the devil. Because
April, thank you for playing that, because what we just heard 5 minutes ago was her saying, no, the government is instituted by God and the laws are given by God to be enforced.
Right. And there she was saying, no, these people have made the government their God.
Do you see, friends, why April and I are hanging on by a thread? Because every day we deal with this stuff. I think I'm going mad. Like, you cannot be serious. You can't be serious. But they are serious, and they're influencing people to believe this nonsense that actually hurts their neighbor. Wow. Whoa.
Okay, let's get through some of these tweets real quick. We promised tweets. Let's get through the tweets.
Yeah, okay. We shared a lot of them, I feel like, already. We'll share more.
Well, we haven't really shared about the Instagram stuff. We've just mentioned it.
Let me take a look. Okay, which ones?
Well, Allie had a big one, and then Josh Howerton did.
Oh,
and
gosh.
so
Okay.
did
Well,
Joel
here's
Berry.
Howerton. Yeah, because this is the new thing, right? They're talking about 2020 all over again.
Yeah, they're talking. Yeah, Josh Howerton, who's a megachurch pastor in Texas, by the way. I do not know if it will metastasize to the rest of the country, but on Instagram, it's 2020 again. It's your test now. Did you learn? They're talking about the black squares, where for like a week people posted a black square.
What other ones do you want? I have so many.
Hold on, go back to that one.
This one?
What was the one?
The PR war?
Well, yeah. But she's talking about, Allie here says, I posted about losing the PR war and the importance of good messaging when it comes to ICE. That doesn't matter. She was talking about how ICE needs better PR. Like videos of them being compassionate.
You know, if you stop. Well, did you see then? Did you see that DHS posted on Threads? Hold on, I gotta pull this. Did you see what they posted shortly after this?
No.
I'm gonna find it. Because I definitely know where to look for it. I was dying because this is the big thing. Is Allie's like, we need better examples of ICE being compassionate and loving. Okay, let me find the account. Oh my gosh, I was dying. Where is it? I'm scrolling.
Oh, for those asking, the black squares, if you don't remember, in 2020, after George Floyd was killed on video that we all saw and had outrage. Also, there was like a bunch of other, of instances of police killing black people unarmed.
Yes.
A lot of people posted just a picture of a black square in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. That's what they're talking about.
Okay, so Allie says this, and then this is real. This is not fake news. ICE Gov account writes on Threads, on January 22nd, during record-breaking cold temperatures in Shakopee, Minnesota, ICE officers pulled into a local parking lot and noticed a man experiencing car trouble. After discovering that his vehicle had a dead battery, the officers quickly offered their assistance. Using jumper cables from their own vehicle and with help from another community member, they successfully jump-started the car, ensuring he could safely continue on his way. I think
they listened to Allie.
Yeah, and also, AAA can do that, right? We don't need federal agents armed with guns to jumpstart people's cars. But thank you, ICE. Thank you for the hand.
That was a nice thing to do, I guess. I don't think it makes up for the murder,
but
personally.
That's what you're tweeting out. Like, that's the best you have. You're a propaganda machine. And the best you have is that ICE helped jumpstart someone's car, which neighbors do for each other all the time. You got to be joking. You got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I thought that was pretty hilarious, personally. Just me.
Yeah. So you didn't pull that video of Allie when she was talking about Instagram 2020?
No, where is it?
It's on her Twitter. I sent it to you.
I have the one
I don't remember where. We have so many threads, you guys.
We do our best to stay on top of things, but sometimes, things fall through the cracks. I had the other clip of her talking to the New York Times person.
Yeah, do that, and I'll find the other one to send to you.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. So this is actually, again, I think just very telling. And Allie, I think, really speaks for a lot of other influencers and women in this space. She's kind of like the major one, but she was recently interviewed by a journalist from the New York Times, and I just think her answer to this question is really telling. So I'm going to play it for you all so you can hear it. The image is a little grainy. We had to blow it up, but this is just, and this will be the last one, friends. After this, I see some of you in the comments that your brain's hurting, but it's important.
No, I just
Good
sent
and
you
evil
one more that I do
policies.
think
Is there something?
Okay.
Sorry.
You're good.
Good and evil policies. Is there something that Donald Trump could do on immigration policy that you would consider evil?
I am most sympathetic when it comes to the taking in of Christian refugees from the Middle East and elsewhere. I want these people to be protected. I mean, my highest priority is the protection of the preservation of Christians and especially persecuted Christians. And so the stories that I've seen about that, of Christian refugees from war-torn areas having a difficult time coming to the United States, that I would say is the most difficult for me. Although even in that, it's so difficult because I don't think that I can trust Christianity Today and other liberal outlets to tell the total truth because I know that they hate Donald Trump. And so it takes a lot of effort for those of us who are on the conservative side, who are open to arguments against some immigration policy. If it is truly cruel, if it is truly unwise, it's difficult for us to know where to go to get the accurate information, because when you're only seeing that stuff from people who hate Donald Trump anyway and want Christians to hate him, it's a little hard to take that at face value.
And
I mean, guys, how much clearer can it be? If you're simping for an adjudicated rapist and a convicted felon and a man who lies about everything and calls other countries shithole countries and other people poison the blood of society, if you think that somehow like that's great and godly and biblical, and anyone who doesn't like Trump you won't listen to, that is a you problem. That is a serious you problem. The other point I want to make is that she says her highest priority is preserving essentially Christianity or Christians, which is also not a biblical concept. I mean, the nature of the incarnation is that Christ reaches out to people beyond, right, from the Jewish to the Gentile. There's a whole notion here of going beyond your tribe. That's the parable of the Good Samaritan. I just think Allie really told on herself when it comes to what she values. And ultimately, she values her own type of Christianity being preserved over anyone else. And it's vile.
Right. Which also would... a good chunk of the people that Donald Trump and ICE are currently detaining and deporting are Christian.
Yeah, the
like
stats,
a majority.
It's like 75% between Catholic and Evangelical. And again, she downplays, like if you look at like World Relief, which is doing amazing refugee work, who's also, by the way, very evangelical, they've come out saying that like what this administration is doing is actually hurting refugees. So Allie's like, well, I don't really like that, but at the same time, you know, it's Trump, so I love it. It's maddening.
I just texted you one that I do think we should pull from.
I got it. Let's see if I can grab this here.
Because I'm not.
This is 15 minutes long.
No, we're not going to watch the video.
Oh.
But she does say in the video that she has since forgiven women for posting black squares on Instagram, which they act like that caused irreparable harm. Like it's so the privilege they're screaming about, like black people were being killed by police and people were posting black squares, and she was just like offended by the black square and not the murder.
Right, exactly. Okay, this is the last thing for Allie. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, agreed.
I'm reading the
last
chat.
Thing for Allie, wrapping it up.
This is it.
Okay. This is where I think a lot of what you're seeing a lot of other people say about this comparison, that like calling out the specific Christians that are calling out ICE is coming from. It's coming from her. She says it's 2020 all over again. Well-meaning Christian women are being duped by emotionally evocative messaging and images on Instagram. If you're not in this female demographic, you have no idea how strong this strategic propaganda campaign is. Yeah, keep in mind, people are seeing videos of ICE killing people.
Right. That's the propaganda. Strategic one.
Yeah.
Strategic. Yeah.
She said, the pressure to repost social justice talking points to signal that you're a good, empathetic person. Mindlessly repeating the narrative is rewarded, while critically thinking, especially out loud, is punished venomously by friends, followers, and family members who will shame you for lacking compassion. Like you're shaming people for condemning ICE?
I can't do it. I tap. I'm listening, guys.
Tap out. Okay, I don't want to read the rest of this. It's
sure?
annoying. Yeah, I think the whole thing. I mean, she compares it to COVID and George Floyd, and like it's.
I think we made the point. I think you get it. I think we made the point. Also,
the fact that she's trying to tell her people to think critically while actually telling people to not think critically. She's saying, ignore what your eyes are seeing.
Guys, let's bring this kind of out, and then we'll get into maybe our final segment. But this is the world of evangelicalism. It is a world built on don't trust your own thinking, trust what we tell you to think. I mean, April, you and I grew up in that basement, that's what I call it. And whenever you had a question around hell or this or that, as long as you believed the answers you were given, everything was fine. The second you started thinking critically and thought maybe beyond, then all of a sudden you were the problem. So they've weaponized language that sounds good, truth, facts, critical thinking, making your own judgments. But it's all on top of a foundation that says if you don't believe that 2020 was a complete waste of all of our times and that George Floyd maybe kind of deserved it because he was a criminal and that maybe Alex kind of deserved it because he was a criminal, allegedly, because of the other video, then I forgot my train of thought, but you get my point. It's just like if you don't believe those things, you're on the out essentially, and it's just frustrating to watch.
Because you have to conform on everything. They don't allow critical thinking. Yeah. They don't allow any outside thought. It is very intentionally contained.
Yeah. Well, and now what they're doing is, so I'm sure everyone saw the footage that came out recently of Alex 11 days prior kicking out a taillight of an ICE vehicle, which, by the way, that is legitimate footage. Okay, that is not AI. It's not AI. There's a second angle that was captured. All news outlets have reported on it. Alex's family had confirmed it was Alex in the video, not an AI characterization of him. It is not AI. But it doesn't matter because people, and they're using that again as some kind of justification. Well, look, he wasn't a peaceful person. It is so telling that these people really think that if you do something like that 11 days prior, somehow you deserve to be executed 11 days later when you're peacefully recording someone. It's just wild that we have to deal with this. It's wild. So frustrating. They care more about a busted taillight than they do about his murder.
Right. I should you go and bust taillights on ICE vehicles? No. Does that mean you deserve to be murdered? Also, no. And honestly, I feel like them sharing that video, if they're implying what I think they're implying, it makes it worse for ICE. I don't think
way worse.
Like if they're trying to say that, they targeted him for what he did back then that provides intent, and that's worse for ICE. And then also, that made more sense for him to be arrested then, and then they didn't. And I don't know. It just shows that what ICE is doing is just utter chaos.
It's chaos. It is chaos. Of course, people are angry. Federal agents, armed agents who are masked. We still don't know the names of the men who killed Alex, by the way. Like his lawyer, that whole legal process, they still don't know the names, which is unprecedented. So you have masked agents who are told by the federal government you have impunity doing horrific things. Of course you're going to get mad. Of course. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to cry over a busted taillight. Sorry. I'm not going to cry over it. I'm not going to cry over a busted taillight under what's what I'm looking for? An agency that just got $75 billion in funding. I'm not going to cry over it. And even if he did all that, which apparently he did, it's still not a death sentence. This is not complicated. How about the people who stormed the Capitol that Trump pardoned? I mean, if the standard is, if you kick out a taillight, maybe you kind of deserved it. My gosh. I mean, think about January 6th and people busting out windows and smearing feces on the wall of the Capitol building.
Also, these are the same people that preach about grace. There's nothing so bad you can do that God won't forgive you. Let he who's without sin cast the first stone. But the moment that it's inconvenient for their political narrative, it's like, I mean, What do you expect?
Right.
You kick a tail light, you show up
Right.
with a gun, even though we support the Second Amendment and the right to bear arms. You shouldn't do that because we could shoot you. Like, the hypocrisy. Like, it's almost like the hypocrisy has so many layers that I don't even know where to begin. They're hypocritical on every single issue. And we can all be hypocrites at some point, for sure. Like, I see it on both sides, but not to this level. Like, my God, have some shame, you know? Like, maybe we should bring a little bit of shame back, you know? Like, just the blatant lying. I would be mortified. Like, the amount of, whenever I post a video or I post anything online, I am so anal about making sure I'm not saying anything wrong. The way that I fact check myself, and then if someone misinterprets what I say and it's not what I meant, I will put a pinned comment to be like, I did not mean this. Let me clarify. This is like, I'm so paranoid that I'm going to say something that's not true. I cannot fathom coming out and just lying with my full chest while claiming to follow Christ. I'm not going to cuss.
Well, don't forget they're protecting a man who is best friends with a pedophile who is in the Epstein files. And there's a whole other side of it, right? And I think this is by design. I think that the way tyrannical governments tend to work is that as Steve Bannon said, you want to flood the zone with crap. And so the thing is April, is that you and I could stream from now till tomorrow, 24 hours straight, and not be able to fully untangle all the knots that they intentionally made. Because it's like playing whack-a-mole, but only there's 1,000 whack-a-moles and you have like a little toy squeaky hammer. You're just trying to knock them down. It's impossible because there are just too many layers. The bottom line, though, for me, is that in particular, these kinds of influencers have nothing of value to add to the conversation. They don't tell the truth. They distort facts. They are so hyper-partisan that they will protect a man who is in the Epstein files, a man who says all the things that we talked about, a man who's been caught on a hot mic saying the words. They will protect him because they think in their deluded world that somehow they're on the side of what they call is biblical justice, as ICE kills people who are either A, unarmed, or who have a legal carry permit, are not holding their gun, and their gun's taken away from them, and then they're shot at point blank range. Or they're little 5-year-old Liam, who was taken away from his mom with his dad, deported down to Texas, who now is very sick. Liam is sick. Like it could be critical at this point. In fact, I hate to share, but I have to. We actually have a video of a photo of this. So that's little 5-year-old Liam. And I want to make it very clear because I've looked into this case, okay? The narrative that you're going to hear is that, well, he had a warrant or he had some kind of deportation order and he fled and the agents picked up Liam trying to give him, and take care of him. That is not true. First off, the family's attorney has said they have a legal asylum case that they're going through the system. They are not here illegally. The father has no criminal record of any kind in Minneapolis, and the school teachers who witnessed everything offered to take Liam many times over, and the ICE agents refused. And the reason why the mother wouldn't open the door, and again, this is from a school official, is because this school has had 4 students taken away by ICE. And what they do is they knock on the door, and when you open the door a little bit, they barge in. That's why they said they were using him as bait, because once they open the door, they can enter the home according to their own policies. So you cannot tell me that these things are happening and that somehow Ali Stuckey or Haley or Megan or whoever else, Josh Howard, William Wolf, are somehow on the side of what is good and beautiful and just and true. They are on the side of the very chaos that they insist is happening over there. Right? They are on the side of dehumanization of the other. They are on the side of crucifying Christ all over again. If you really think that if Christ was here today in the flesh, that he'd be armed to the teeth, armed all the way up with an ICE badge on, kicking down doors and taking 5-year-olds away from their mothers, I don't know what Jesus you are following. I don't know. It certainly isn't the one of the gospel accounts. That's for damn sure. Darn sure.
If MAGA existed in Bible times, they would be at the crucifixion of Christ, pointing and screaming, should have followed the law.
Totally. But you have to understand, but I think what people fail to realize, not you, April, I'm talking more broadly here, is that what we're witnessing comes from a larger tradition of supremacy. This logic of white nationalism was what justified segregation. It was the white evangelicals who were saying that MLK was the one breaking the law, was an agitator. They were the ones who were saying we have a God-given right to own other people, and it's the law. They are on the side of those people, whether they realize it or not. The Southern Baptist Convention, the SBC, the largest evangelical conglomerate in the U.S. today, by the way, City's Church, the church that was protesting because they had an ICE pastor, is an SBC church. They were founded in 1845 because they refused to give up the notion that they shouldn't own other people as property. They started it over slavery and the right to own other people. When that's your foundation, it's no wonder these people take the stances that they do.
Yeah. I do want to just point out, I know based on everything that we have shared, it is heavy. It is heavy. And it's very frustrating because you see a lot of Christian leaders and we didn't even get to a lot of the tweets that we were going to pull, but there are a lot of Christian influencers and leaders in this world that are saying the things that we showed y'all today. They are condemning anyone that calls out ICE while defending ICE no matter what. And I get that can be really discouraging and infuriating because I also feel that. But I do want to highlight that it is actually really good news the way they're all going so hard to condemn the people condemning this.
Yeah.
Because that means a lot of people are condemning this.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are starting to wake up. And I've said this before, but I really do think in the next couple years, we're going to see another big wave of deconstruction like we saw in 2020.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it's also worth just showing this picture. It's good news. This is a good picture. I think it's worth showing because we don't do this enough, April, and I want to get better at doing it personally, is that there are people of faith who are doing good work, okay? Here is a screenshot of what happened in Minneapolis a few weeks ago. Over, I think, 150 different faith leaders, all different beliefs and religious identities, joined together to stage a protest at Minneapolis airport, and they were arrested for essentially halting a business as usual. And so I know that it can be discouraging. I know April and I usually give you all the bad news and we try and help you hopefully feel seen in that. But there are people, Christian and not Christian, who are working together, shared values over shared beliefs to fight back. And the other encouraging thing that you should know is that we're in the majority. 60% plus of Americans, even a lot of Republicans, think that ICE has gone too far. Okay, so there are rays of light. And it's important to see it that way, but also we can't shy away from the machine that is animating so much of the dehumanization that we're seeing today.
Yeah, and another story too, this just happened a couple days ago. 9 faith leaders were arrested for doing a pray-in protest at Susan Collins' office to try to get her to vote against this additional funding for ICE.
Love that. Love that.
So we highlight the worst of Christianity because the MAGA Christian nationalist evangelicalism is the loudest in our country, and they do have the most power because they're in the White House, they're in Trump's cabinet, but they are by no means all of Christianity. I mean, we are Christians. We're trying to fight back. Metaphorically, Antifa, but there are some good. There's good that is happening also.
Why don't we read the rest of these super chats, and then we'll get into our final segment? How's that sound? Cool. Before that, friends, thank you again for being here. It truly means the world. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Substack, smash that heart button. There's almost 1,000 of you watching on Substack. Thank you. That's awesome. April and I love doing this show. It's been great to work with Lincoln Square Media. And the Tim and April show is produced by the New Evangelicals. It's a nonprofit organization I started in December of 2020 that is now led by the wonderful Melinda Hale. There are tons of free resources for you. If you are a Christian looking for a better path forward in faith, I recommend joining the free community, TNE Connect. We do free classes. We have a book club that we do. We do all kinds of content. We do other podcasts, the New Evangelicals podcast. That's all theology. And then we do the Advocacy Hour podcast. So there's a whole world there for you. Everything that we do is paywall free. So thank you for your support. Okay, few super chats, speaking of which, that will go to funding that work. Let's see. Excuse me. Stevie Clown. Gonna need to watch Starfleet Academy after this show for a palate cleanser. Love you both. Thank you. Dulk Dogan, it's telling they think women are as naive as kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, they infantilize women.
They did. You're right. Kelsey Whitmer, that chick rambling about God knows what makes me about rambling about God knows what makes me think of that scene in Billy Madison where we are all dumber for having heard it. LOL. Love you guys. Thank you. From Mitson Black 9123, Haley's video made me want to vomit. Thank you both so much for what you do. Thank you. Super kind. Renee Plant, appreciate what you do. Being in conservative echo chamber in 2016 was crazy making. Hearing you provide facts and data is refreshing. D. Smith 6484, thank you for the super chat. Frozen Green Blob, kind of off topic, but thoughts on the whole Bethel Church spiritual and SA news.
We have an episode coming this Tuesday.
Yes.
Where we're doing a deep dive on everything happening with Bethel Church right now.
Yep. So either follow us on podcast, Tim and April's show, so you can listen to it, or on our YouTube so you can get it when it drops. It will not be on Substack. And last one, forgot the chat part of Super Chat. I've been fighting him on Facebook, and they will use any method to delegitimize valid statements and callouts. Thank you so much, everyone. Woo!
Two things real quick.
Yeah.
I wanted to point this out earlier. There was an article that came out in The Guardian. I was quoted in it yesterday.
Fancy.
Just like, you know.
Good for you.
But I learned this in it. Allie Beth Stuckey's origin story, if you want to know where she came up with the idea of toxic empathy, I just think it's really funny. This is a quote from the article. The title is like about the womanosphere. Anyway, it says in 2024, Stuckey published Toxic Empathy, writing that she first encountered the phenomenon after the murder of George Floyd by the police officer Derek Chauvin. In the ensuing global protests, Stuckey took issue with the Instagram trend of posting black squares in solidarity with Floyd and other victims of institutionalized racist violence, when she instead shared a video of an elderly black woman describing property destruction in her neighborhood as the result of protesters. Some followers responded saying Floyd's loss of life was the bigger tragedy. So Stuckey's thesis, quote, I was facing weaponized toxic empathy. That is the origin story,
oh my
ladies
God.
and gentlemen, and theys and thems and all the peeps.
There you go. The more you know.
I also want to say I made a note because we had that question earlier on advice for how to talk to your MAGA mom. Just real quick, I think we put in the chat too, there's books out there. If you want to know the mindset that goes into it, my book, Star Spangled Jesus, might be helpful. But also what I have found has helped me when I was in it, and then helped me in conversations with other people, is to ask them questions and get her to explain her position, because there is conflicting cognitive ideas. And even if she doubles down in the moment with talking points, there's something in the back of her head that will say, she'll know she's not making sense.
Yeah.
So that's what I recommend. Instead of telling them facts, have them explain it, and they'll just keep asking them questions. That's the quick update. Okay.
Love that. All right. Last segment. Here we go.
Weird Christian shit.
A classic. We got a doozy today.
Yeah.
Can you just clarify that this is not satire?
Yeah, listen, this showed up on my algorithm organically, okay? I thought it was satire at first. This is going to feel like satire.
Yeah.
It is not. I went back, I looked at their other videos, I read the comments. They are serious. So it is the text on the screen for those listening says controversial Christian marriage things.
All right, let's hear it.
Controversial Christian marriage things.
We got married after 2 weeks of knowing each other.
And we met at Bible study.
My wife believes everything I say. You know it's true.
I can't deny it because I'm just believing what you're saying.
My wife doesn't cut her hair because she knows I hate it.
I also don't let myself go because I know he would hate that too. I keep having kids because my womb belongs to God.
We know each other often. Christians will know what I mean.
I only work in the home. I hate when my husband does the laundry or the dishes or cooks.
Mostly because I'm bad at it. Don't be good at something you don't want to do.
I do like being barefoot in the summer in the kitchen.
I never look at other women, ever.
Code for he doesn't watch something that most men do. And I don't read smut. He actually likes his children and spends loads of time with them.
I have no hobbies. My hobby is my family.
Also, one of our hobbies is just reading the Bible together and going to Bible study and going to church. The world thinks that I have internalized misogyny because I love my husband and my children, and I don't think that females should be pastors.
Or do much of anything else.
And I like submitting to my husband because I love him. I don't nag my husband.
She really doesn't. I never lie to my wife, but I would have every opportunity to because she doesn't know how to even get on my computer.
There's 2 screens, I don't get it. So obviously he handles all the money, and then I just spend it.
She does spend it. My wife hates the doctor and only does homeopathic medicine.
Oh my god.
That works.
It does work. Take this magic pill, take this magic drink that's been fermenting in the closet for a week. Trust me, it'll work. And then it does.
My husband doesn't let me manipulate him.
This gets worse.
My
and
kids
worse.
would get kicked out of public school for the things they say.
We forgive each other.
But actually, though, not like in the fake way. My wife's submissiveness is the most attractive thing about her.
Oh my god.
We want like 10 kids.
All boys, of course.
How much longer
We
is
still
this
love
video?
each other.
Most of the time.
Love is a choice. Every time I want to repaint the kitchen, my husband does the whole thing for me. Obviously, we're homeschooling.
I'm more attracted to my wife now after 3 kids than I was before she had kids.
So find yourself a Christian man. Find yourself a Christian woman. First of all, find Jesus and have an awesome marriage that glorifies God.
April, where do you find this stuff? Like I
built my algorithm brick by brick. I told it, give me weird Christian bleep for this show, and now it's all I get.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, on that note, friends, thanks so much for hanging out with us and being here. Honestly, April and I always talk about how much we love doing this show. It's a lot of work and it's intense, but we appreciate you all being here and tuning in. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, The Tim and April Show, subscribe to the channel, do all the things. I think that's everything, right? Are anything else I'm missing?
I just can't get over how misogynistic that whole thing was.
It's hard to follow up. It's hard to end on a happy note with after that. Today was a lot of misogyny.
I hated
There was a
everything
lot of
about
misogyny. We had that
was
Haley
so
Kindle,
gross.
and Haley was like, "Well, women tend to follow more." Her husband said that, and it's a weird one.
That, yeah, we are going to leave, but we should do an episode that just highlights how patriarchal evangelicalism is, even in more egalitarian spaces. Like the misogyny is built in.
Yep.
Like, and I even had internalized misogyny, and I was pretty like rah women. Like you couldn't tell me what to do and not do, and I had internalized misogyny because of I even grew up egalitarian, but anyway, it just exists. Like patriarchy and Christian nationalism and white supremacy, they're all cousins.
Yes.
They're probably like brothers connected.
All brothers,
hoods.
Only, obviously.
Yeah, only boys.
With hoods, yeah.
Yeah.
And occasionally they decide to burn crosses for fun, just randomly. So.
Yeah, I do think we have another super chat that came in.
Oh, I'll read it real quick. Then we got.
Yeah.
I think just one more. I think from Shana Lee 80. FYI, Dr. James Bronson passed away last week. He was one of the first scholars in affirming theology and did a lot of work with the Reformation Project. Oh, that's good to know. That's so sad. Thanks for updating us on that. Okay, I think we're good, April. We've yapped a lot today.
Okay, we have yapped. We've yapped a lot. Yeah, no, we can go. We should.
Oh, okay.
No,
well,
I could vent all day. I've got pent up energy and I've been snowed in.
Well, do you want to keep venting? I'll allow it.
No,
that sounded misogynistic.
Yeah,
that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant, everyone. That's not what I meant. Okay, well, on that note, I'm Tim Whitaker.
I'm April Ajoy.
See you next Thursday.
Do what I want to do, regardless of what Tim says.
I support it. See ya.